Hey everyone, it's Andy's Indiana Model Trains, and I'm going to do a little demonstration of what I know about AnyRail 7, or in this case 7.14. So let's see here. I'm going to go to, look along the top here, we got File, Home, Show. Look at some of the stuff that's right here. It's got like an aspect, a ratio, the scale. That looks like the same thing that's down here in the bottom right, because you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, and you see that number at the top up here changes as well. You can also get a list of materials, list of sections, whatever that means, list of labels, whatever that means. Again, list of materials, that's kind of handy because that will tell you what you've used already so far. But we're going to go on to show. This just, go ahead and like build something and then click on and click off this stuff. And then that will show you kind of what that does. And then it kind of lets you know how everything works. All right, insert. So obviously this is how you insert certain things. You would think, don't you just add track here? No, track is here in its own because that's what this is all about. So I'm going to go to HO, or what looks like actually H0 for whatever reason. So I want to find a kind of track that would be used probably in America, I'm guessing. You know what? I do want to go to Pico. We could go to microengineering too, and then we could also go to Walthers. What is there? There's Atlas. You can kind of see code 183 or True Track, whatever that is. I don't know. I'm going to go to Pico, P-E-C-O, over here. And you can see everything that it has. Streamline, what is that? Those are like just the kind of like the good quality, like real looking stuff. Set Track is different. Set Track is like the little pieces, like you use 6 of them to make a full 180-degree turn. All right, so let's go to, we don't want to do bullhead because that is stuff like English and whatnot. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to go to Pico, OOHO, Pico Streamline Code 83. We're going to use that. So I'm going to click on that, and that's going to show us all this stuff on the side. Now we're going to get to that here in a second because I have a really big, all this grid here. What's this? What is this? All right, now first of all, I'm not going to look here at user objects, libraries, or object libraries really at all because I'm not going to worry about that right now. Settings, this is where something is, it's important. You want to go to your measurement system over here and make sure that everything is how you want it. So English fractional units or decimal units, so you can have like, 5.5, let's say 24.5 for like 2 feet and half of an inch or something. I don't know. But we're going to keep it here because that's, that's what I'm used to, and a lot of people in America are used to. So I'm going to look at this length, look at the width, 106 inches by 106 inches. So what is that? Like that's something like 8-9 feet, something like that. So you can see that right here. But let's see if we change this to something else. Let's look at 192 inches by 384 inches. And this, and then once we do that, we click someplace else. So I'm going to keep going out. Again, if you remember, we looked up here at, where was it, home? Yeah. We're looking at this from top down, 1/60th scale. So I'm back here at settings on the top. It's got a grid. If we don't want the grid, we can click off the grid. We can also tell it how often we want the grid to show. Right now, it looks like it's every 6 inches. If you want to make it every 12 inches, we can do that. And that should be, what was it, 16 by 32? I'm not sure what endpoint, control point, all that kind of, I think that's for when you're actually laying down track. Now, minimum radius, we're going to change this a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to make this. 22, 22. Minimum radius 24. I don't know if this exactly lines up with what's good for HO scale or not. I don't know what these are. I don't know what these are over here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to hit the plus sign down here in the bottom. And I'm going to use the scroll on the side to scroll all the way to the top because we're going to put in something over here, like in the first foot or so. So we're going to look at what we have. You need to figure out kind of what kind of stuff you want to use. If I'm going to click on this, there's wood, there's concrete for ties. I'm going to click on this. Wow, that is so small compared to everything that's up here. I'm going to go in even closer. And that's a nice thing because you can, let me see. That looks a little bit better. I'm going to go a little bit closer because I want to get to section that's about like maybe 2 by 4 feet. Maybe. Wee. And what are we going to use here? Number 4, number 5, number 5. That is a right turnout. It's a left turnout. I don't know. I'm going to click on these. All right. Clicking on them brings them out into the field where you can play with them, we'll say. Now, there are other ones here, of course. What does this say? This is an inspection pit. It has like all of the stuff that's done by Pico in code 83, OO, scale, gauge, whatever. You can see number 6, number 6. There's a double slip switch. There's a crossing with no turnouts. There's a curved turnout. You can see all the stuff that they have available. Look at wherever you're going to buy this stuff from, and make sure that some of these things are things that are readily available. Again, I am going to keep these ones, or not again, but I'm going to keep these ones because these seem like they're fairly common things that people are going to use. So this is a piece of flex track. Obviously, you have a turnout here, right hand to left hand. So what you can do is you can just go up and you can click it, and you can make another one. Or you can do the thing that I like to do and use the, what is it, Control Z? Nope, that makes it go backwards. Control C and Control V. That's on the keyboard. So every time that you hit Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, it's going to paste. So this is copy and paste. I think you might also be able to mouse over it, tap it. Yeah, you can copy and you can paste and make another one. Anyway, I'm going to gather these all up. I'm going to click over here, drag over top of them, and that lets me move all of them, even though they're not connected. All right, let's click on this one. This anchor point up here, this little green dot, I'm going to click that, twist it around, and I'm going to bring it and let those sections meet up there. I don't want to use all this piece of flex track. I'm going to right click, click it, I'm going to right click, and that brings up here that says cut here. You can cut and connect, or just cut. I'm just going to cut. And that means it's cut. There are two separate pieces right there. I'm going to bring that up here, put that there. You know what? I'm going to cut this one here again. Cut here. Take this piece, put it right there. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make this curve around this way, and we're going to use just a fairly standard curve. But what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to right click on this piece of flex track. This is still flex track. It doesn't matter how long it is, we can always make it longer. I'm going to scroll down or go mouse down to curve flex. Click on that. We want the angle to be 90 degrees. We want the radius to be 18 inches. Whoop, not that. 18 inches. So I will click OK, and that puts it like that. Now, you see these, the plus sign and how it's tied to this, plus sign, how it's tied to that. We're going to look at that here in a second, but I'm going to join this up right there. I'm going to click on this. You know what? Let's just bring another piece of flex track in right there. I want to make this curve right beside it as well, though. So let's, you know what? Let's do this. Right click on it again. We're going to curve flex 90 degrees, but I'm going to make the radius 20 inches. I don't know what this is going to do. We got to mess around with it. Now, if I do this, does that look like it matches up? I think it does. Pretty close, at least. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to click on that, I'm going to right click, give me options, and I'm going to look at, let's see, straight flex. When I click straight flex, it brings up this option to set the length for it, and that is 16 1/8 inches. Let's make it 18. What does that be? Yeah, let's do that. So that is 18. I increased about 2 inches or so. Now I can bring this over here and meet that right up to it, and then you've got that. Now, I don't know if those really work well together. I don't know if that is good for running stuff in HO scale. You'll have to figure that out and know that kind of stuff yourself. I do want to mention, too, if you want to have 2 inches apart, flex or whatever, two tracks that's 2 inches apart, you can right-click on this, and I'm going to say Add Parallel Flex. And I'm going to say that I want the distance to be 2 inches, and I'm going to make it to the north. So when I click OK, that will put another piece of flex exactly 2 inches to the north. So that means if I need to do something there, I can do that kind of thing. I can tell exactly how far it should be apart. Now I just put this other piece of other turnout right there. It's right there. I'm going to bring this around. No, I don't want that one. I want a left, and that's a right. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hit Control C, and I'm going to hit Control V. So that copies it and pastes it. me see, is this going to work the way that I want it to? It looks like it is, yeah. I'm gonna hit this, Control C, Control V to paste, and let's put that right there. That's interesting. Let's take this, put that right there. All right. And I'm going to fill this in right here. How do we do this? I'm going to take a piece of flex track. I'm going to make it so the ends line up right there to right there. Oh, maybe. There we go. Now it's like, this is too long. What is this? I'm going to try something. I'm going to grab the end of it. Oh, there we go. Put it right there. What if we click on this? Now you see that moved the whole thing a little bit. Sometimes that's really annoying. You don't want it to move when you mess around with it. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to right click. All right, I'm just going to click it because I see over here I can go to glue. So I have now glued down that piece. And I can try to move this stuff as much as I want to. It's not going to move. Not until I get to like that. We'll get to that. All right, so let's see what happens if I hit smooth. Smooth flex. Yeah, that makes it a little bit better right there. So what I did is I clicked on it and I right clicked again. So what you want to do is you want to just look at what is in the options. This is how you kind of learn things again. You could glue it with this. You don't have to go all the way up to here. So what I did is I went down to we used add parallel flex to make a parallel piece right up there. We used cut here. Now this time we used smooth flex because that makes it smoothed out and a bit nicer. So we did that, and that adjusted the size of it, that adjusted the curves to it and everything. So what we got now, we got that. Now, what if you want to make a more, I don't know, I like the word bespoke kind of flex curve. So let's cut this. Cut here. And let's say that we want to put it here. And let's say we want to make it just have kind of like this nice gentle kind of curve. I don't know. That's not right. Obviously we don't want that. We don't want to make that kind of a curve. Let's grab this, pull it out. Let's grab this, pull it this way. There we go. Now obviously this is going to go right off the track, right off the edge. Let's go back to this. And let's unglue. And now we can move the whole thing. There we go. Now we're going to make this. So if I grab this, I can move it around like this. But then when I start to move this, it's going to start to move that piece as well. So if we like exactly how this is right here, we're going to click that and we can hit glue. And now that is not going to move this piece at all. So now we can curve that the rest of the way, however we want it. Experiment, see how things are. Let's try to make that a right angle right there. I don't know if that's going to work. That might not work, like be geometrically stable. Now let's do something here. Now if you remember, I went up to settings and I hit 18, 22, 24. What happens if we curve this too much? Is it going to notify us? No, it's not. That doesn't seem correct. I don't know why it's not. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Because that is ridiculous, because there's no way that is. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing. Show. Flex curve to sharp. Curve to sharp. Now, there we go. All right, so under show, flex curve to sharp. That is important. Flex too long is important too, because you can't possibly get a piece that's like that. That's that long. But obviously you can put them together. Now if you see this piece, it's yellow right here. Yellow, let's look at this here. We have red, orange, and yellow. So what this is telling us, if we go to our settings, that is telling us that this is just a little bit, so it's more than 24, it's more than 22, it's steeper than 8. It's steeper than 24 inches right here, or it's more than 24 inches. It's tighter than 24-inch radius. So we might want to look at fixing that up and making it less sharp, dramatic. I don't know. Let's go here. let's unglue it. Let's see, what do we want to do? There, something like that. Now that might not be exactly what you want. You can actually grab the control point, you can move it a little bit. And again, we got that happening. Fine, nope, that's not the way we want to go. There we go. Nope. All right, so that lets us know that if we were to do our flex track at exactly this, then it would be within our radius that we want, because there is no warning, no notification about what we've done here so far. This right here, this is, I wish I would have seen this before, because then I could have talked about it then. But we can tell that this area is too sharp, because if you recall, I did definitely tell it that I wanted a radius of 20 and a radius of 18. So that means it's going to be in between, it's going to be steeper than 22 that we said. Or steeper, I'm just going to, whatever. So if I take a piece of flex and I tell it here, I said I want to curve this flex, I want this to be 90 degrees, 110 degrees. 110, so that means it would be more than a quarter of a circle. Let's just do 90, that's fine. Experiment, again, do your own experimentations. Let's make it 25 inches. I'll curve that, there we go. So technically, this is a 25-inch radius, but at this point, that is too long. You can't have a 90-degree turn, 25-inch radius with a single piece of flex track. That is just too long. I can click on it. Let's right click. If we hit smooth flex, nope. Control Z to step that back. All right, what do I want to do? Straight flex. Currently, this is 39 and 9/32 inches long, and I think it only comes in what, 36 inches. What we can do to appease the program is we can click on this here, highlight it, right click, and then cut and connect here, and that basically just cuts it and connects it. Now, if we did just cut and not connect, then that would mean that we'd have to connect it somehow. Otherwise, let's see. Anything else that I feel like I want to add in here? I don't think so, not at this point. You can look through here. Here's where it will show you some things. I feel like there's not a whole lot of things in here that you would want to really mess around with. I don't know what a lot of them are. Object libraries, Walther's structures, stuff. You might know some of these things. Grain elevator, shops. The numbers on here might make sense to you. I don't know. Just, here, this is important. Insert. Rectangle. Let's zoom out. So let's say you're going to want to add in your track table or whatever kind of thing you're working on. I'm going to go to add rectangle. I think this is what I want to do. Template module. No, here. Click. Rectangle. There. Is this what I want to do? No. Insert. Freeform. There we go. So, we'll go down here. Click. Let's click. Click. This is going to feel really weird here at the beginning. Make a curved fascia through here. Go to here. We'll go to here. Oops. And we'll go to there. And how do we finish this? I'm going to hit escape. There we go. All right. So what I have done is I have added a free form, whatever this is called, tabletop. There it is. It says tabletop, obviously. Add height contour. I don't know. I'm not worried about that right now. This is not glued down, right? There we go. I can put it right here. And we can talk about how we have tracks coming here. We can add in a switch or something like that. We can add a switch here, curve off of that, come over here. I don't know. You can do a lot of stuff, but this is just the basic of how everything works. I'm also going to click on the very edge of this. If you click the very edge, you can change how see-through it is, how opaque it is. You can also change the color, because a lot of times it defaults to green, but if you want to make it magenta, you can, oh gosh. Anyway, green. Greenworks. But that just shows you how you do your tabletop. So, and again, you can click on it, select it, and you can glue it. That way you can't move any of those. If you want to do something later on, I think you can right click on this here and you can add point, and then that will add a point right there. There you go. If we want to make this add point, oop, obviously can't find my point. There's the point. Here we go. Find that point. There you go. So click on it again, glue it. All right, so again, just a very basic way to use AnyRail 7. This is the paid version. I think it was like $60. It just lets you use unlimited pieces. You can get away with a lot of stuff without using the paid version. I think this you'd be able to do what I've done here just fine. If you get the trial version, you should be able to do this kind of stuff just fine. It gives you up to, I don't know, what is it, 30, 60, 40, 50, some amount less than 100 of free objects to use. You could theoretically design small pieces of your layout in different files. When you're done, if you want to print this, you can go to print, and then you can select what size you want it. You can go to print setup. Nope. Ratio, where do we want it? Oh yeah. So if we want 1:1, so we say 1:1. And what this does is this makes it so that it will print out exactly what you have made. And it will make it so that you can see, there you go. You can lay this actually down on your tabletop or on your Benchwork or whatever, and you can see exactly how much room it takes up, and then you can actually even put your track on top of that if you want to. But anyway, let's go back to home. Anyway, basic tutorial kind of thing for AnyRail 7. Hope that was of some use to you. See you next time.